Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
All right, what's up? What is up? It is
Rob Van
trash
Dam.
night.
It's Rob Van
Oh,
Dam.
dang it! Dang it! I was gonna surprise people, Rob, and
Fonzie already.
you blew it.
Fonzie gave it away.
Dang it! Dang it! Well, hey everybody, this is RVD, one of a kind with RVD, RVD and KT.
Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam.
He did give it away. You're right, Fonzie.
Yeah.
But yes, we're live, like I said, on RVDTV.com, on RVD's YouTube channel. So be sure to hit like, share, subscribe, whichever channel you may be on. But shout out to all the people in chat already. We got Maddie, who gifted a membership to RVDTV.com already. Jeez, Maddie. Maddie's the man. Maddie's the best. Maddie's the best. We got Triple E.
You got
We got Zach White.
I don't remember what it was.
I'll show you.
Oh, Maddie's got some good jokes.
Yeah,
he throws
it was
some
a
good
joke
singers.
in his sense, you know, like it was a
Yes.
joke. I said, "Oh, that's perfectly a." Okay, yeah, and it was a
Okay.
joke. He probably already knows it, but apparently there was an explosion at the Cheesecake Factory here in town, and the only thing left was debris.
Oh my God.
And it's cheese factories and cheesecake.
She's.
Oh,
Oh.
oh!
Oh.
I fucked up. I
Oh,
fucked
man.
up.
Dang it. It wasn't Maddie's best. Maddie's had better ones, I think.
I know it's at the cheese factory.
No, it's not Cheesecake Factory.
No, it's just cheese factory because like brie is a type of cheese.
I know, but isn't
Yeah.
is Cheesecake Factory not known for the cheese?
It's just known for cake.
No, just cheesecake and restaurant and just
Oh,
restaurant.
son of a bitch! I don't even want to play this game.
Dang it, Rob.
Pressured
Have you
in.
done stand up before?
Hate crime.
Dang. Well, Katie and Rob, before we get to our special guest here today and are the main topic, happened to see that you guys had a baby shower with DDP.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
That was our first. We have 3 baby showers. That was the first one in Atlanta, and DDP and his wife Paige and Scotty Riggs went, and a lot of my family members. So it was super, super special. It was really awesome and beautiful day. Yeah, DDP
Like a neat setup.
friend. He was at our wedding and at our baby shower. Like the 2 days of our lives, he was there.
Yeah, we were at their wedding.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and Scotty Riggs.
Yeah.
He's spirits are high. Dude's looking better than ever, you know, and it's cool to reconnect with someone like that because we were really tight in the sense that we were around each other a lot years and years ago, like early 90s, you know, to the mid 90s. And then, you know, in the wrestling business, after something like that happens, you guys are friends, even if you only see each other like once every 10 years or something like that. And being around Scotty is similar to that in the respect, you know, that we're always going to just be right where we left off, even if we don't see each other for a long, long time. But also, after hanging out with him, you know, it makes me want to hang out with him more and spend more time with him and not have as much time in between.
Yeah, he was really funny.
Yeah.
He was like the life of the party. That was the first time I had met him, so I didn't expect him to have like explosive personality like that. So it was.
Oh, Riggs?
Yeah, he brought really good energy to the party.
And by the way, like, I'm blown away by how many baby gifts we are receiving.
Yeah.
Like every day there's just boxes and boxes, and it's like we've always both been horrible at thank you cards, and that's like something I'm weak at. Like every year when my sister sends me a birthday card and I don't send her one, it just makes me feel like a piece of doo-doo, like, damn, man, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna get it this year, but I never do, and that's something I'm not really good at. But for this though, man, so many people that are even unexpected, like people that aren't like necessarily in our inner circle are happy for us, and as Katie puts it, like our babies already got so much love. People already love them so much they're not born yet, and that's how it feels. So we're eternally grateful, and man, I can't save and open up the abundance of boxes and packages that we've gotten, but it's definitely gonna be helpful because the babies ain't gonna want for shit, as they say in the wherever they say that. Do they say that somewhere?
Yeah.
Thought so.
They say it. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
I've heard
It's
I've heard them say
every
it.
day is like Christmas here. It's overwhelming. Like our friends have really came through, and even random people. Like, but he was saying we're horrible at thank yous, but we're gonna get better because I'm so thankful for everybody and the thoughtfulness. I was like, I'm not gonna let.
We got
this
a big
go
list.
unnoticed.
We got a big list that
Yeah.
we're putting together to improve. What a great time to get good at something like that, showing appreciation.
Yeah,
And a lot of fans that just hand us stuff. That'll be harder. We thank them in person, although some of them do put their information in with different stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
It's incredible. Lots of love, positive energy, and that's all we want. That's all we handle here in the Van Dam household.
You guys have a baby registry, right? Do you have something set up?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to get the link for it. I'll share it out. I'll share the link out too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That'd be
I
sweet.
feel like there's like hardly anything left because people have gone above and beyond for us. It inspires me to be a better friend for other people.
It's pretty neat when people just like it's so unexpected. Like you have a lot of friends and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's still like it still warms your heart when that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
So
speaking of friends,
yeah. Speaking of, Rob, why don't you do the introductions here?
tonight's guest is a very good friend of the Van Dams. We love Joe in this household. Filmmaker extraordinaire, cameraman, and more. That's an inside joke. But Mr. Joseph Clarke from fucking Back Row Studios, bring him on, dude.
Boom, let's do it to it. We'll get Joe on here. Let's see if I can fix it up. Hey, good to see you.
I was laughing at
Joe.
the camera guy joke. That was good.
Did you go to cameraman school or study under cameraman Grand Wizard?
Real quick, I just have to say, I have to shout out my friends, Kevin K, who you actually know him, Rob and Kitty. He took you guys to a show, and Harry. They texted me like a half hour ago.
Not Kevin Kleinrock from Big Vision Entertainment, right? Fuck that.
Trillion.
Okay.
But they texted me like a half hour ago saying that they were waiting for the podcast to start, and I was like, I'm sorry, Rob's eating tacos.
Oh man, yeah. And I told Katie, why don't we stay 6:30 from now on? And she said because then you'd be late and it'd be set.
It just keeps getting moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he needs the pressure to get him together. But he forced me to make him dinner before the
forced her.
Oh, you made the tacos. Oh, cool. Maybe I might swing over later and grab some leftovers.
Dude.
They're famous. My tacos are world famous. My family
Are they?
For them every time.
Also award winning, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Award winning. Oh man.
Yeah. So
Hey, is
anytime
that your specialty?
just make your request and I'll make it for you.
Okay, I'm inviting myself.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. So if anybody doesn't know, Joe Clarke is a movie maker, and our first project together was Headstrong, the documentary that is on Amazon and on Reels. And if you see it somewhere else, then we believe you. That
Tubi.
was Tubi, and that was about me and dealing with concussions and awesome experience. And Joe and I want to do a bunch of projects together. We talk about it. And one of them that just got released like a week ago is the Sabu documentary. Joe and Sabu were working on this for a year and a half or so before he passed. It was taking on its own life, but it's very organic, and it's out now on kinema.com. It's like cinema but with a K. You don't have to have a phone app. You go there and watch it. A lot of people are ahead of you already, and we are getting great feedback from it. It really is going to bring you closer to the real guy than you've ever been before or ever could be.
Yeah, Joe, how did obviously working with Rob and Headstrong and stuff, but how did you facilitate a relationship with Sabu and like kind of bring this to the table for him to kind of make a documentary about like this, him having his last match and following him around for this initially?
Well, like Rob said, I mean, we were in the trenches with Headstrong, and Katie was part of that too. Like, I feel like I was in their lives for like 3 years, and putting that together was its own crazy whirlwind. And so since then, when you go through that kind of production and just that amount of work into something, you're always gonna be close after that. And so Rob and I, we always spitball different projects over the years. And about a year and a half ago, Rob and I were talking, and I threw out the idea of doing a documentary, Sabu, and he said, yeah, that would be great, but getting Sabu to commit to that might be a challenge. And so I threw out the idea to just kind of the three of us get together and just chat. And so we met and talked, and Sabu and I, we kind of clicked right away. We're both Lebanese. He could tell that I had like great respect for what he did and just wrestling at large. And then, Rob and I asked him like, well, we want to do your story. Do you have any hooks, anything you're looking to do? And Sabu said that he wanted to have one last match. And I remember Rob and I looked at each other. We're like, okay, that's the perfect thing right there, And so that was the spark that lit the fuse. And from there, that's when the crazy ride started. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind ever since then.
Yeah. So I saw the documentary. I just finished it today. I told you that off air and stuff like that. And what I really liked about it was the cinematography of it, and like how it was not your typical documentary or the expected documentary where you have sit down interviews all the time and like you get people's talking heads and people like that. It was really more the element of Las Vegas where Sabu lived, the environment that he was in, and Sabu following Sabu around. And so I thought that was a really, really compelling way. Was that your initial vision for the film, or did you have kind of a different aspect of how you were going to go about it?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it has been really rewarding to see the different feedback from people. I love just seeing the different reactions of people seeing and experiencing the film for the first time. And one thing I wanted to mention to Rob was, it's funny, like we saw each other 3 nights ago at the screening, but we didn't really get to like chat at all. And, the whole journey of the film could be a documentary in itself. That's how crazy it was. And after Headstrong, Rob and I, we both had really strong visions for what we wanted the film to be. And eventually, we found a middle ground and something I'm really proud of. But before even working and starting this project, I told Rob, I said, I can tell this is going to be a huge mountain to climb. It's going to be a really big project. And so I would like to request having that creative vision for the project, because I did have a very specific vision. I knew that things were going to change and evolve, but I wanted to make a wrestling documentary that I've been wanting to make since I was a little kid. And I give all the props in the world to Rob. I think that what he did was something incredibly rare in the documentary space, where he actually let me cut loose and have that vision. And, you know, if you watch any WWE documentary, or like, I always compare The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. That was produced by Michael Jordan. And so you're going to have that gloss of what Michael Jordan wants in there is going to be there. And he can spin the narrative in different ways. It's still an amazing series, but I give Rob all the credit in the world. He never stepped in at a creative level. He never said, hey, you can't put this, don't put this. Our feedback was much more constructed based off of making the best film possible and the most impactful story. And so, Rob, like, I thank you for that. I think that was really cool, and that was very brave and vulnerable, especially for how close you and Sabu were. And to be honest, like, the first time I came over to your guys' house, I showed you and Katie the film, like, I was terrified because I knew how crazy the movie was. And I was like, there's no way that Rob's going to go for this for being the movie. And I was shocked when he was as supportive as he was. And I've been continually surprised, because even at people's reactions that I thought might not like it because it does go into different facets of Sabu, people have been like super supportive of it and have taken it to in a really strong way.
Yeah. Still looking forward to getting Desiree and Paulina's feedback on it, because as I told them, these are Sabu's sisters, as I told them, Sabu, I know he would approve of it. Hell, he had the camera on even during, you know, for any questionable scenes. Like, are you sure that should be in there? Because it gets pretty personal, and you see some stuff that, you know, a lot of people would opt to edit it out. And then when you come down to it, Sabu knew the camera was on him, and so he was cool with it anyway. But having said all that, I think maybe, if anything, he might think it's a little too personal, possibly, which I don't know, but I could see the family thinking that too, because it is very personal. I mean, you see the guy with his guard down. You see him sleeping in a hotel bed. How much more can your guard be down than that? You know what I mean? But you see him around the clock. You get to see what Sabu like 24 hours a day. And what's awesome is that, you know, it's not about his whole career and all the ups and downs and stuff. It's about this guy on this day. You know, how did he get here? You know, where did he come from? All that you got to come to terms with by the guy that you meet in this movie. You know, you know, this guy is a legend, and here he is at this point wanting to have one more match, and how important that is to him, how important the fans are to him. You know, all the things that you really wouldn't know. You really, you know, without watching this movie, unless you're a really good friend of his. Otherwise, you don't get that close to him.
Right.
I was shocked at how open and honest he was about everything. I remember, like, the first time he's pretty intimidating if you don't know him. Once you get close to him, you understand more about who he is as a person, then he opens up more. But I was timid at first interviewing him because I was like, I don't know if I should ask about this or this. And I wasn't going for shock, just more respect for a conversation. And immediately I found out anything you asked him, he was going to tell you exactly how he felt in the moment. And that was something I admired. And we had like conversations where I'd be like, you are the most honest person I know, and I would love to adopt more of that in my life. And I asked him, like, do you ever get in trouble for that? And he said, oh, yeah.
Me too.
You know, Rob
call
is
back.
so honest.
Call back.
Yeah.
Was honest.
I broke that up for a Bobby Fulton joke.
I liked it.
It was
okay.
good.
We haven't talked about Bobby in a while.
But
So.
yeah,
Right.
So I know that he would be happy with this, and there is still room actually if
No.
for that movie that covers his incredible pro wrestling career, and starting when he was young and wanting to be the Sheik, and there is definitely still room for that. That's a whole different story.
Rob,
Yeah, I
what
mean
was
that's what
so?
I heard you. Sorry, Dom. Go ahead. I took
Oh
complete.
no, you go ahead. You're fine. No,
Well, it was funny
absolutely.
at the premiere. My mom was
There
at
you go. There you go.
my mom was at the
No.
premiere, and she keeps asking me like, what does Rob think about the movie? What does Rob think about the movie? And I'm like, why don't you just ask him? You're gonna see him.
Yeah.
So I overheard you guys talking, and how you said that you would have taken it in different directions, and I think that's what stands out about him is that he has such a vast. You could do a whole series on him, and so it's less about this like overarching. You could do like 10 hours of him, but he has so many different stories that kind of have to pick your points.
Well, that's what I liked about the documentary itself because, like, as a wrestling fan, like a lot of ardent fans will know, oh, Sabu, I want to see this get covered and that get covered and that get covered. But if you're not a wrestling fan, I thought this was adaptable or accessible to the non-wrestling fan to be like, ooh, who is this person? Like, he's done these legendary stuff, and you kind of hit the high points or certain elements of what progressed his career from like his uncle and Rob and everything to that. But I think it was really tangible to an outside wrestling audience. Was that definitely on your mind when you were kind of setting
Yeah,
this all up, Joe?
That was 100% intentional. We could have easily done an entire retrospect on his career, but I wanted to reach non-wrestling fans, and so it was more about introducing who he was and how he got to the point of where he was at when we first started filming. And then people will be able to kind of, even if you're not a wrestling fan, still enjoy it where you learn about him and then you kind of follow him along his ride. Because I think the rest of his story is so relatable to just, people in general.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just there's different ways to tell a story, but listen to the fans tell you who he is, just by their reaction to him, that automatically fills a void, like, okay, obviously these guys respect the fuck out of him. You know what I mean? Like it's an interesting way to tell the story, because otherwise if he was just some nobody that hadn't been anywhere, the crowd wouldn't know who he was either. But without tell me you're a legend without saying you're a legend.
Well, that's the thing too, is that when I think about, like you said, Paulina or Desiree, like, sisters who are, they're beautiful human beings. And like, I'm sure they'll go through quite an emotional roller coaster watching, some of the things. And one thing though, that I reconcile that with is that at the end of the day, Rob and I were there in his last chapter when not a whole lot of people were like looking to tell his story. And so I feel like we kind of earned those stripes by like sitting in that fire with him, no pun intended, where he would, we got to tell his story in a very cinematic, high quality way that he had never had before, that I hope serves as a big legacy piece for him.
Yeah, I think this is like a long lasting kind of thing that I think, expands outside of the wrestling bubble, and is like just a raw kind of document, like just the environment. Like I said, capturing the vibe and the life of Las Vegas and Sabu living in it, I thought really translated very well onto the screen for that, and the decisions you made in that.
And I think he will. I think he would appreciate the film. We had a conversation where, because people before the film was even released were comparing it to The Wrestler, and The Wrestler kind of has this stigma of being like kind of a downer, dark film. And I told Sabu, I was like, "Hey, I'm kind of getting vibes of The Wrestler for this," expecting him to be like, "Oh no, I don't want that." But instead, his response was, "Oh yeah, no, I want that. I auditioned for that movie. They took my ideas for that movie."
No shit.
He wanted to be a part of it like that.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's
Rob, from a thought process too, and Joe mentioned it, like that you mentioned it last week too, that you had your own vision for maybe what a Sabu documentary would look like. What did you initially envision, Rob, that you wanted maybe differently initially for for the documentary?
It's not so much like one big navigational direction. It's more like just when Joe and I worked together. A lot of times we would do two different things. So like with Headstrong, we were just learning to work with each other, and I know a lot of times Joe just wanted to get the job done because I was like so persistent and nitpicking because I'm feeling the energy, and like he's got the education of the filmmaking, and I was feeling the energy, and I was like we have to end that song before we go into the next one, and then it's got to fade in. That's the way we're gonna feel it. Like boom, it ends, and then it fades in slowly. We're on the beach, and he had to deal with so much that it was eventually, like, okay, what are the 10 most important things? That's all we're going to change, and because he really wanted to get done. But so there was a lot of that. That's what he wanted to avoid a lot of with this. And a lot of it is just preference, any preference either one of us is going to be biased on because it's our preference, but for me, like I'm totally was using the energy guide, like for everything, like feeling the energy as is perceived when I'm watching the product. And we only have so much to work with too, when it comes to music and stuff like that. Sometimes we got to use stuff and put it somewhere because it's the best choice out of what we have, even though it may not be, excellent, best if we had other options. But as far as a lot of that goes, we just sometimes I would go left when he would go right, and we're gonna get there either way. He tends to, in my opinion, favor more of an artsy kind of feel, which is cool, and that's what you get when it comes across that way. But I think that's something that's a perspective that I probably don't have as one of the more dominant qualities when I'm thinking of putting it together, or even just like I said, how it's perceived. For something like this, of course I'm protective of Sabu. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not going to be more protective than he is.
For sure.
So it's like, dude, are you sure? I don't know if we should have shown that fucking shot of swamp water that he took in his ass, but he did it on camera, like right in front of the camera. And that's his story that he's telling, which is very, very important to him. So a lot of decisions go into weighing out shit like that.
And I think, that's like I said, I think that's such a rare thing, especially as a producer on a film like this. That's why this film is so special to me personally, is regardless of what happens, success wise, like the fact that you gave me that space to achieve that vision. If I never make another film again, this might be the most successful for that reason. And I'm shocked at how far it got with that vision intact. And so for you to support me and have my back in that, even if, we might differentiate on some stuff, that was like super cool of you to do. And for that, I'm like forever grateful.
Sweet. Nux.
Very nice. Nux. Joe, was there any elements that you felt like kind of uncomfortable putting in the documentary that did make it, or how did you navigate that with your values and stuff like that when making the film?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I still get nervous. I feel like the film still is kind of ripe for controversy in a lot of ways, and I was very nervous. It was really funny. One of his good friends, Jim Hellaby, who is a really cool supporter. He was a big fan of Sabu. They became friends. And for weeks leading up to the film's release, he was just hyping it so much and posting every day. And he hadn't even seen a frame of the film yet. And he was like, this is Joe's masterpiece. This is amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I think you better temper your expectations though. And so like, of all the people in the world, I was like, he was like the perfect surrogate where I'm like, I really hope that this person isn't let down by this, because that would be like really sad, because I know how much he looks up to Sabu. And so I was weirdly getting nervous. And then like the film released at midnight, and it was like 9 p.m. here, midnight New York. And it like didn't work out where he had to stay up all night. And he was like messaging me like, when can I watch it? And I'm just like, oh man, I can feel the pressure building from this guy, you know? And I woke up the next day and I just had a message that said, it was perfect. and that's been something that's really, really cool to see, is that Sabu has probably the most intense and unique fan base I've ever seen for anyone, where he has a legion, like an army of followers. And it's been so cool to connect with them and watch them take this film and just like promote it and market it like crazy, where again, that's one of those things that we're just so fortuitous to have in our corner.
Rob, was there something that you wanted in the documentary that didn't get maybe necessarily as much of a focus, or anything that conveyed Sabu as a person, or anything? Anything stand out?
If there was, then it was Sabu feeling like he was at his best. That would have been cool to capture, you know. And like the day of his last match, you know, of course he's second guessing himself. He's got laryngitis and he sounds weird, you know, and he's puffy. I don't know what's going on with him. But he's, you know, feeling like, and he's even saying up to that, you know, that, you know, I'm not going to feel, you know, like I'm at my best, but I don't want to just feel good enough, you know, and he's going through all these mind games, and it would have been cool to see him, you know, really rocking it, have everything gone perfect in his mind, so that he could have, you know, been like, boom, fuck yeah, that was sweet. And I know he would have wanted to wrestle more matches afterwards. He did anyway, because he already felt like he could have done better than he did. And he did good. I liked his match. I thought I got a lot of good feedback before all the kratom talk got out. And then everyone was like, well, he shouldn't have been forced at his age to go into there when he couldn't walk, and all this bullshit that came out afterwards, you know. All that you see in the movie too. It's funny when they super glue his feet, by the way, because he really needs a pedicure, and his feet are so chapped that I can't imagine the super glue is doing anything. You got cracks in your super chapped foot, and then he super glues it, and whoever did it is like, does that feel good? And he's like, yeah, no, that feels better. There's no way you felt that, dude. Like that thick ass chaps.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, how does he feel that?
No way you felt that. No.
I gotta say too, for the last match, Rob, I don't know if you remember this, but we had a conversation a couple months before, because I had watched Sabu's matches from the last few years, and they were pretty rough to watch. And he knew it too, because he's very open and talked about that. And I remember thinking, I know we're making a good film, but I'm very nervous about the quality of the last match to make him look good. And I want him to feel good about it. And I remember talking to you of like, basically we're trying to come up with gimmicks, either with the camera, or we even talked about not showing the last match, almost like the wrestler does, where he walks out and it cuts the credits. Because I was like, how are we going to make this, like, how are we going to pull this off, you know? And to be honest, and I told Sabu this later on, I didn't have a lot of, like, I was very nervous that it would be one of those like, we're watching Father Time past his prime, and it's kind of just like a sad thing. That was my expectations going in. So I was thinking of ways on how to film it to help, almost like a Paul Heyman, like cover up, you know what I mean? And like make it seem better than it was. And I have to say, I was completely blown away by his performance that night. And I think that he hit a level of artistry that he was already a legend, but to see and be in that moment, and I think the way that's captured on the film, I think it's one of his best matches ever, just for the emotion and the lead up to everything, with the crazy bumps and just to everything he put into it. It was a complete spectacle, and I think he knew that, and I was happy I got to tell him that, and he felt it too, and I knew that yes, he wanted to keep going, but I think he knew he pulled a rabbit out of his hat that night.
Yeah, everybody talking about the match all weekend at WrestleCon. It was like the viral thing of the weekend. I told Rob that and Stone Cold driving the 4-wheeler. The most talked about things the whole weekend.
The most talked about. Well, that's too. Maddie makes a super chat asking me like what I thought about it live, and yeah, you guys nailed it. Like Joe, it was like the spectacle of everything, how they set it up throughout the venue itself, the Pearl Theater. Was really a Hammerstein-esque like to me in a lot of ways, and Sabu, him showing up and then having that brutal kind of match, but hitting these highlights that really harken back to ECW at the same time. I thought it was the match of the weekend. Honestly, I really did, and like I went to WrestleMania. Well, I saw WrestleMania like on television and stuff like that, and I was like, nothing compared to the Sabu, like the environment that whole match created. So. Yeah, I thought it was the best match of the whole weekend, to be honest. So,
it's definitely,
yes.
I would think, one of the best matches he's had in years. And so, like even before he even pinned Joey Janela, he was already wanting to do it again. I saw him in there saying, trying to like he didn't want to pin him. He wanted to call it. And didn't want that to be his last match, and I can't say exactly what he was thinking when he was doing all that. That's the way I took it. But I do know from talking to him afterwards, he was like, it was good. It was good, but I definitely got more in me. And then he was saying he wanted to work with me, which we talked about maybe making it a barbed wire match to make it special, just because I haven't been in one. But he liked that idea a lot more than I did.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's funny too how like the trajectory of. I remember the very beginning of filming, like Sabu would like ghost for 2 weeks, be hard to get a hold of. He wouldn't want to do it. I'd be dragging him along, and then by the end of it, our last phone call, I was like, I didn't have the heart to tell him, but I was like, hey man, we're only gonna do like another scene, and I think this movie's done. And he was like, no, we got to go to Japan next. That's the next match. So that's part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2, Neil. Well, I thought what the documentary did do too was dispel a lot of that wild speculation of, the Kratom stuff, the hotel, what Sabu's demeanor was like in the hotel, everything to that effect. Like, I don't think it was erratic. To what Rob was saying, it was like he was nervous, and I think it dispelled a lot of that misconception that got online. And so I like that aspect of the documentary too. It's like, hey, take that on social media for everything. Everybody trashing Joey Janela, everybody trashing like the quote unquote irresponsibility of GCW, where it was just it was Sabu was nervous. That was a lot of part of it.
Yeah, something some people pointed out. The only person you see giving Sabu Kratom is me.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is true. It's true.
Yeah.
So, Joe, was there initial worry too in that scene? Because I was thinking about that scene where Rob was giving him Kratom. Was there initial worry that people were going to jump to conclusions when you had that in the documentary after the fact?
Well, I guess it was just so perfect and organic how it all came about. And that's what I feel like the theme of the film is. Even with his own death, like I feel like everything was already written before we started making it. Like his prophecies and the Kratom, that thread, that was just like it just happened, But also, to go back to the controversy with it of I found out very much firsthand that you're not going to get Sabu to do something that he doesn't want to do. And like, no matter how many times I would text or call him to be like, hey, let's like do an interview, let's film or something, like, unless he's ready to do it, then he'll do it. Otherwise it's not happening. So everything he did was where he was at, and he was in control the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. Yeah. No, I thought that it would touch upon a lot of elements that people were like complaining about or asking about, and I thought it got addressed really well in there too. So,
I mean, definitely we were. My personal goal, I think Rob was too. This is where we were aligned: is that we want to make something as authentic and truthful as possible. And so, yeah, there's a lot of ridiculous and absurd, over the top scenes in the film, but it's never us going out of the way to, make it dark or exploitive or anything. That it's just, this is what is, and this is who he was, and this his truth in that moment.
Right. Mm-hmm. Maddie, Rob, this is a question more for you, so I guess. Maddie, thanks. Did Sabu ever realize his impact was Hogan's status? Do you think Sabu was kind of aware of how much value he had to the wrestling world?
I don't think so, really. I think that he knew he was impactful within the business, but I don't know if he knew how wide of a circle that remained true inside of. And for sure, I would say that he probably underestimated his own position and in the way that people looked at what he did,
When y'all first got started, though, when y'all go to promotions, he'd say, we're better than everybody. That's why they're clapping.
Yeah. No, he would. He trained me to believe in myself, and we both, when we were rocking, and we did believe we were the best guys on the card. But you know what? Doesn't everybody believe they're the best guy on the card? At least they tell you in every promo they're the best. And but it wasn't like, Hulk Hogan's, that's there's several $100 million space between those brackets there, and he's Hogan's like the god of wrestling. So
you can be a hardcore Hogan.
He's like hardcore, in certain ways, because it's like he
I'm sure
transcended the sport.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't look at himself like that, or he would probably be in a big mansion on the beach somewhere. Although he would give that away anyway.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Joe, how about you?
Let me ask you a question, Joe. When you were walking with Sabu, downtown, probably many times, right, while you were filming, like to the Nerd and back and whatever. I wonder how many times did you see him giving money to solicitors, street solicitors that are standing there, with their hand out for money? Like, how often, they put it that way? Was it like every night or like every other night?
Yeah, it's what was cool was that the very first day of filming, I just happened to be recording when he did it at the bus stop, and he went and handed a few bucks to a guy, and we had a good conversation about that. I think everything that worked out with this film was just like perfect, and how organic and natural it came about, because I think one of the reasons Sabu let me into his life is that first night we talked, I didn't know his perch, him wanting to help other people, and so I told him I was like trying to like hey, like, I've made other films. And I said, I just got finished working on this documentary about homeless people in LA. And I noticed him like perk up like, oh, that's like really cool. And so I think that actually was a cool connection between us that allowed a little bit more trust for him to let me in. Is that I was putting like a spotlight on, you know, some homeless artists in LA. And so, but yeah, to answer your question, like, it's crazy that the very first day I literally filmed him giving money to someone. And yeah, in some ways, it's almost like he had a direct bond with homeless people, for lack of a better word.
And that one makes it in the movie. But I bet a bunch of times when you weren't on camera, he was splitting his money with them. Like every time he walks out of the gas station, he like splits whatever he's got with them, right? I mean,
yeah, and I think someone at his memorial service, I think his niece was telling me that she asked if I had met this person that was living on the streets that supposedly he was like consistently buying dinner for and helping out. And I never met that person, but I think he actually went beyond that, where he actually had relationships with some of these people and was helping them out on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Wow.
Joe, what is the documentary you did on the homeless people?
So that one's not released yet. It's called Homies. We actually filmed it before this, but if I follow like a homeless rapper through LA, Chris Brown is in the movie. It's like a crazy journey, and so yeah, hopefully it's wild. Since the time we finished that, I have filmed and completed and released this film. So that's just how the movie business works, I guess.
Well, what inspirations, I guess, did you pull from whether it's other documentaries or other films, to kind of give the aesthetic and the feel that you got with the Sabu documentary?
That's a great question. I'm going to like volley it up to Rob. But so I was 10 or 11 when I saw Beyond the Mat and Wrestling with Shadows. Those were like a huge influence on me. And I remember them feeling like edgy as a kid and like more real than even the wrestling I was watching on TV. I guess Rob, you're in Beyond the Mat, correct? Like during the Paul Heyman when he's like backstage giving the speech and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
what I guess what were your thoughts on those two films? Like, I'm sure you were just in the thick of your career, but did you notice them? Was that like a talking point? Those two documentaries.
What was the other one besides Beyond the
Mat? Wrestling with Shadows, the Bret Hart.
Oh,
the Bret Hart one. Yeah, the Bret Hart.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't looking at them like a movie maker. I hated Beyond the Mat because we were, you know, we still had the closed door policy, and this guy was wanting to film us while we're getting ready for our matches and shit, and it pissed me off. You know, the whole Sabu clique was angry, and the guy was it Barry Blaustein or
yes.
Was that, the guy got sabotaged probably more than he ever knew, because like when he would leave like the camera, it was on a big ass camera with VHS tapes recording on it, and there'd be a stack of VHS tapes or whatever, and some of the guys would be on a mission to sabotage him, and they grab some of those VHS tapes and like put them in holes in the wall. They go,
oh my God.
Yeah, they go between the 2x4s beyond the yeah.
All his work on the
Man.
Like when they remodeled the ECW arena, 2300 arena, they had some VHS tapes in those walls. It probably worth something, but
I would love to watch that.
I don't know if they ever
Could you
looked at
imagine?
them. They probably just threw them away without looking at them. But yeah, and then when I saw the movie, I thought it was so good. I wished that I had participated in it a little more without blowing kayfabe the way they wanted me to. But I just wouldn't have been as much against it, because like what we did was definitely damage to his progress. And I say we because it was members of people on my team. You know, I wasn't one of the ones personally doing it, but I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And All right, well, fuck him. You know what we're doing back here, trying to expose our business.
So then with like with you and Sabu, that's so interesting to hear because with kayfabe, obviously it's evolved, but that means your perspective has had to evolve, especially with us. Like, what do you think Sabu thought about filming a documentary that's just like completely blowing up kayfabe then?
Yeah, I mean, he knows it's gone now. It's like there's no being the one crazy. What is it, Don Quixote chasing the
Yeah,
windmills?
the wind film. Yep, Don
You
Quixote.
know, so as far as that goes, he knows that everybody talks open. It's different times. So back then, I don't know if you know, Joe, but like in ECW when we were in it was either the Elks Lodge. I feel like it was the Elks Lodge, but also it seems like a building in Boston. But there was a building where the concession stand, they would take a shortcut through the dressing room to get to the from the kitchen to the stand, because it just saved them a whole lot of trouble. But every time they'd come back there and Sabu would find them, he would kick them out, like physically, you know. Like the guy, this poor kid would be coming through with a whole bunch of hot dogs just carrying cardboard. Sabu would attack him and like smack him out of his hand, and had him backed up against the wall. The kid's like, fucking like waiting to get hit. He's like, I told you, don't come back here. I don't want to fucking see you back here anymore again. You don't belong back here. And that was a weird time because that was still happening, but then others wouldn't support that way of thinking. So then they'd just be like, he's just having a bad night. Don't worry. And they wouldn't support that kind of protection on the business at all. But that's the way we were trained.
Well, I wonder, I'd love to get your insight on this. Like, I think with Beyond the Mat, Wrestling with Shadows, they have this allure, especially when they were first released, of like, we're not supposed to be seeing what's happening, which is why you're probably putting up your walls of, hey, we don't want to show this. So it's like almost has this dangerous element to it, which I feel like Sabu, the documentary, has some of that, where you're watching super personal things about him. But at the same token, I feel like he was still performing in his own and working in his own way, even within that wide open space, where I couldn't even tell what was a work and what was not. I mean, we were talking about the coffee scene earlier, and I talked to Ruben, his friend, after the screening, and he was like, that was Sabu, that was him showing off. That's what he said, Yeah. So I was like, oh, interesting that, like, even in this space where kayfabe is dead, theoretically, he's still finding ways to work.
That's what I liked about Sabu too, and like when he would work the dirt sheets and stuff like that. I think
he was working me. Like, that's the thing. Like, half the time I was like, in the moment, I'm like, I don't know what's real and what's not. That's when people are like, literally after the screening, this was crazy. Like, someone came out to me and they were like, so how'd you guys know that he was gonna pass away? I was like, we didn't,
Didn't, no
but
clue.
like, in a weird way, I feel like he was kind of playing 4D chess, not only with his destiny, but just with everything. I feel like he was kind of pulling some strings with me in a way, which that creates a really interesting chemistry on screen.
Right. Did anybody give you a hard time filming Joe throughout the whole process? Whether you're when following Sabu around or anything like that, or did they kind of give you a pass because, hey, he's with Sabu?
They gave me a pass. I will say that I know that Joey Janela was pretty nervous after their match just because he was getting a ton of heat. And I think he was worried that it was going to paint him in a bad light. And I reaffirmed to him, like, I'm actually trying to be as non-biased as possible. I'm not trying to craft a narrative. I'm trying to be as wide open as possible. And he didn't know who I was, obviously, but
sure.
And so I think he was a little tentative and timid about that. But once he watched the film, he loved it. He said it was great. And and he's been super helpful in just promoting it. And so yeah, I think just because of the reverence that people have for Sabu, it's created people going along with it and being open to us filming with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One delayed answer. You asked me earlier about, like what's one thing that I would have done differently or whatever in it. You notice there's a new girl at the end of the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't describe her too much or go into her too much, and I don't think Sabu would even want us to. But obviously, you can see that he was trying to, make things work with what he had, and I think that it does tell that story. But I think I could have done without seeing her face as much as as we do.
She's horrible.
Oh, okay. So that's. I met her briefly, when I was in Vegas, but yeah. So it didn't seem like she seemed a little all over the place.
Made it very challenging for all of us to deal with getting Sabu's things and
Really?
yeah, and every step of the way. So we learned to have feelings on her, not based on what anyone told us or whatever. We learned firsthand, and as did Joe.
Oh man. Yeah.
To appreciate her for what she is and who she is.
Well, cool. Yeah, no, it was definitely obviously a part of his life at that moment in time. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense that it's in there. But yeah, it's unfortunate she gave you guys a hard time, but all you guys a hard time.
He never introduced me to her, and I've been around them, 2 or 3 times when they were together there towards the end, and he didn't introduce me to her, so I didn't even talk to her until after.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I just met her.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's messy, and it was. I think that they were both doing, whatever. It was messy, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't gloss it, and I think in some ways too, like if you put a spotlight on all of our lives, like you can find some relationships in my life that are just as much of a train wreck, And so I think in a weird way, like the easy way would be to construe something one way or another. But, even with her, I didn't want to just, I think it would have been easy to edit things one way or another, but I think that it's non-biased across the board, even though
exactly
Rob, have certain preferences.
I do think, well, to your point, with like Joey Janela was concerned with what it was, but like I thought it was a completely unbiased look, and the viewer themselves can make that assessment about it. And yeah, that's the kind of the vibe I got from her too, Rob. Even before you guys, I didn't know that you had that much like tension there.
But even then, like on screen, you can see like there's like a fight scene between them.
Yeah, there's a little fight scene, and
it's real.
Yeah,
in the kitchen.
In the kitchen and stuff.
But yeah, it's organic. It is what it is, and like I said, you could see he's dealing with what he's got. What he's got right now in his hands, and at the same time, he's kind of saying that he's ready to go be with Melissa and his mom and Sheik.
Yeah. No, it was just very well set up, and I think, you painted a whole portrait, and I think it was, I think you hit the mark there, Joe, for sure.
Awesome, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Let's look at some more super chats. This was an early one from Maddie. What do a gynecologist and a pizza delivery person have in common? Both of them get to smell the goods, but neither of them get to eat them.
That's funny. You should say Crocs joke.
The Crocs.
I love that joke you told me. Like Crocs are like.
I showed it to you. I didn't tell it to you.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't mine.
Okay.
There's a Crocs.
Crocs are like a gay blowjob. It feels good till you look down and realize you're gay.
Yeah.
It feels
You nailed it, baby.
Thank you.
Good job.
That was way better than Rob's cheese joke.
Yeah, the cheesecake joke. Maddie adds, Jordan never called himself the GOAT. Sabu is our GOAT. Yeah, true, Maddie. True. Gotham City Comics. This would probably be a question for later on for you, Joe. But he does ask, can we buy a physical copy somewhere? Not yet. I know that much. But Joe, would there maybe be plans to later have the documentary be on like a Blu-ray or DVD or anything like that?
Yeah, so we're not supposed to officially announce, I don't think yet, but we do have next April. We'll have a special collector's edition Blu-ray coming out. And also what I'm personally most excited for, I've been bugging Rob, but he's like, I don't want, why? But I'm like, dude, we have to do this. But there's also going to be a VHS collectible of movies. That I'm really excited about. I'm pumped for that.
Dude, I will totally buy that.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people would. I had someone offer me, they said, I'll pay you to convert the movie to a VHS for me. So the market is there for sure.
No doubt. People want
that. Dominator?
I do. I have one over here. It's not set up, but I do have it.
I don't even have a VCR. I just want the tape. I don't know why. I just want a tape of it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even need to watch it. I'd just love to have a VHS tape, the physical copy thing.
Nice.
That's awesome, though. Good idea. Let me see. I want to make sure I get all the good questions out here. Shout out to Dirty Dick Flair, who's been in the chat too, adding some stuff about some things too when it comes to. He said Joey Janela was pushing for the last match narrative. Sabu said from the get-go it wasn't going to be his last match, so he definitely had more planned, right? And I remember seeing Sabu after the fact, and like the day after, he's like, "Yeah, that's not my last match."
He was saying that the closer it got towards that match, the more he was just like, it's one of my last matches.
Yes, one of my last matches.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Cool. Hey, we didn't play the trailer. Do you want to guys watch a trailer real quick just for so fans to check it out? All right. So here is the trailer for Joe Clarke's Sabu documentary. Check it out, guys.
That's how I spend most of my day.
Homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, and extreme to the bone.
What happened to Sabu? Never got the accolades, never got the money he deserved, and almost killed himself for every promoter he worked for.
You want a match? It's gonna be your last one.
I don't know. There's no story. No planned out, premeditated story that I know of. Unless, if I was to maybe die tomorrow, then that'd be a good story.
Heck yeah.
Which, of course, no matter where you're at in the world right now, it's past September 15th, so you can watch it tonight.
Well, Rob, what's been your experience? This is like weird, but like people trying to figure out kinema is so interesting to me because I'm just like they can't grasp the idea of going to this website to watch the film. What's been your experience so far?
Well, like I didn't even know until yesterday or the day before when I think I heard you or somewhere I got the kinema.com and before I was just telling everybody when they said, where do I find it? I would say just, find kinema. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, okay, cool, I'll find it. And I didn't even know like if that was an app they had to get or what. And then when I realized just go to kinema.com and you can watch it. It's like $5.99 or $6.99. It's boom, without needing to download any software or anything. So I just started yesterday with that new with that new angle, letting everybody know, because everyone would just kind of say, okay, I'll find it, and then I figure everybody knows more than I do about like that.
Well, it's interesting. Like, we're releasing this film completely independently. We're not like a big Hollywood studio, and so eventually it'll be on your Amazons and Apples. But they're such big companies that they kind of are in control of everything. So like, we wouldn't even be able to pick a release date. So I picked Kinema because we could actually hype it up and get people excited for it rather than just dropping it randomly, it's been a good experience. So people that watched on the website said that it plays like really well. It's really high quality. So I'm
Joe,
happy.
it was awesome. Like, it was so accessible. All you do is like, they have like get ticket. You click on that. You enter your payment information, whether it's PayPal or whatever it may be, or credit card, and it's so accessible. It started right up. The picture's crystal clear. It's really a efficient website. So yeah,
Sweet.
I
Awesome.
can't praise that enough.
And of course, that's the platform that Ravens movie is on also.
Have you seen that yet, Rob? I was going to ask you that.
I haven't yet.
And people can pull it up on their phone and then just go to screen mirror. All you do is just go like this, swipe down, and right here, and then it's that icon, and then your phone will directly to your TV, so you can watch it. Just pull it up on Kinema and then click that button, and then it'll show up on your TV.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's also I feel like it's this cool. What's weird is that there's certain barriers where it's like people have to take an extra step to watch it, but I feel like that's the perfect Sabu experience of like, it's this exclusive underground way to go and seek it out. And like, that's what I had to do with his matches back in like 1997. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like it fits pretty perfectly with this vibe.
Joe, I know I probably asked you this in our first interview we had when we had you on here. Who were your big favorites when you were a kid growing up?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just relay. This is kind of funny, Rob. I almost texted you this, but I was in Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and actually, I went to junior high in Minnesota, and that was 25 years ago, and I have not been back since. And so I drove to my junior high just to like look at it, reminisce. I took a picture of it, but I weirdly have this very specific memory that I've told Rob like a million times. But I was in a computer lab and I discovered the stretcher match between RVD and Sabu. And I was like in the back, and I was like downloading, trying to like hide me. And I was like, this is nuts. I've never seen any match like this before in my life. And like watching like an 8-megapixel video on this like really crappy computer in the back of this computer lab. So Rob, I'll send you the junior high where I discovered you for the first time, you and Sabu.
Yeah. Were you able to pick out Tony Khan in the crowd?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah,
that's a real thing. He was there. I picked him out. I found him.
There's a clip of that match in the Sabu documentary.
Yeah. Oh, when he hits his legs. And,
I
remember seeing that for the first time, being like, when he hit his legs, it's like one of the craziest things. The suplex, people, Rob flipping onto the stretcher. Like, I remember my mind just completely imploding while watching that in junior high.
Yeah.
And that was the weird thing too, is like, I've seen so many ECW matches and shows, like they're in the ECW arena, and that one's in the ECW arena, but for some reason when I watch that one, it feels like a different venue, but it is the ECW arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder, like, I feel like I had certain matches where like one of my big matches, my first pay-per-view was Over the Edge 1998. It was Stone Cold versus Stu Love, and like as a 10-year-old, it completely solidified that I wanted to be like a storyteller for the rest of my life. Like, that's how much it impacted me. And who knows, maybe Tony Khan was in the audience that night, and that was like, AEW someday will happen. Like, you guys could have influenced them in a really, really profound way.
What did your mom think of watching wrestling, Joe? Because last night it looked like it was hard for her to watch the wrestling clips.
She didn't like the bloody scenes.
I don't think she quite understands the world or the sport itself. She has like a tough time clinging on to it, which that was part of my motivation for. I've had a lot of people in my life like that are like, I don't understand, like, what is it? And so I feel like I was trying to make this film as a bridge to help understand it more. But she said she got caught up in the barbed wire scenes, like where she like her adrenaline was going. I think she was into it. She's kind of a sadist in that way. She loves like Final Destination and like all those.
Oh, really?
This fits her wheelhouse kind of perfectly.
That's great.
That's funny.
What I want to ask too, have you gotten non-wrestling fans give you feedback about the documentary, like what their initial thoughts are or anything?
I'm starting to have some of my like non-wrestling friends are watching it, and I think as the wrestling community pushes it out, that I'm looking forward to hearing those reactions the most, I would say. But I think the things that just stick out is just I mean, we talked about like people keep texting me about the coffee scene, like I think it's so over the top and crazy that that's why I told my sister the other day. It's like, as wrestling fans, we want to see what Sabu is going to do in the ring next for his next spot. But now as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, it's kind of what he's going to do outside of the ring for his next spot. That is like the real draw,
Yeah.
The first time you came over and we watched the documentary, I think me and Rob both like were like shocked by that. And y'all know Rob doesn't get shocked, but we both like, oh my gosh.
That's why I think though that is that Sabu's performative style. I think that he might have been trying to pop Rob in the moment. Who knows?
Rob.
He's like, Rob's gonna see this someday. He's gonna be like, what the hell?
What the hell is this? My favorite kind of scene, I guess, and I told Rob this last week, was the where they're riding bikes together.
Yeah,
that was that was so cool.
Right. Can I say the line, or is it giving it away?
Say it.
Oh, okay. Well, I loved when he said like that he loves hanging out with Rob and people seeing him with Rob because he always like brags about their friendship. That's not exactly what he said, but that's what it meant. And that really made me cry because that's just so sweet.
Yeah, I love their friendship highlighted in the film because, and this is where as a fan I get to mark out, like when it's just them hanging out talking, like that's almost that's the most interesting kayfabe break because it's literally just two friends hanging out. Like I liken it to like kids in a sandbox, just like chilling, like, and I feel like that energy gets across big time where, I mean, if you would have said 20 years ago, there's a scene in a movie where it's RVD and Sabu and they're just smoking a joint and hanging out, you'd be like, that's the best movie scene ever.
Right.
Yeah, it's really special.
Well, what I liked about that too is that touches people on a human level. Like a non-wrestling fan, if they see that, like that initial way that you kind of set that up, not that it was set up, but like presented Rob and that friendship with one another, I was like, oh man, a non-wrestling fan's going to be able to associate with that and be like, those guys have been friends forever. And like, and then that carries on throughout the whole documentary too. You see that. So I like that a lot too. I got emotional at the end, I will admit.
Yeah.
I got emotional.
Most people are. I remember, I mean, I was getting emotional before he passed away watching it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why, but like you could just kind of feel his sadness coming across, and you want to help him because he's just like a really nice guy. And then after he passed away, it just becomes that much more depth filled. Where, I mean, I'm proud and honored to be associated with that emotional depth because I think that reaches a lot of people.
Right. Anything that you wanted to do that didn't make the documentary, Joe, in particular?
I was actually thinking about this today. This is kind of a crazy story, but I'm going to tell you guys.
Okay.
There's a
Nude scene.
The nude camera guy.
Oh, the nude scene.
Nude camera guy.
Scott. No, I actually have that one. That's on my computer. I'll show you guys later. No, there was I was thinking about it today. I've been thinking about it because I'm like, I'm so mad I didn't have the balls to pull the camera out and start filming, but it's it was right after the coffee scene. We were in the hotel room. We were getting ready for a show. And we were in the middle of New Jersey, and I didn't have a car. And he wanted to dye his mustache, his hair, and his eyebrows and stuff. So I had to go to like 3 different CVS's to try and find like a specific brand of something. Took forever. Got back, and this is where like anytime he gets close to a show, he's very anxious and hyped up and just like all over the map. And so he starts he's put on like the dye like all over, and he looked like the Joker. It was
so funny to film that.
And like he was running around being really chaotic, and I was like, I didn't know, I was like nervous to pull the camera. I thought he'd be like, don't record this, but to this day, that's my biggest regret. I think that would have changed that scene alone would have changed the complexion of the film even more drastically. So I'm kind of upset I don't have that. That was an amazing moment.
Oh man!
Oh, you didn't want a chair to the face. He might have.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. No, that was just great stuff. Tony said
That's funny.
Just did something else.
Yeah, Tony just said there was dye everywhere.
Oh gosh, I can
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we ruined so many hotels. Yeah,
told you.
that's
Holy
funny.
smokes! Well, who else in the wrestling world would you think would make a fascinating documentary piece too, Joe? Is there anybody else that really stands out to you? What a fascinating subject that would be.
Well,
maybe not a wrestler, even just like a topic of wrestling too.
My dream is Jackie Chan.
Really?
That's my guy. That's yeah. But I feel like I'm sure you guys have heard this. Like, I feel like the universe has randomly been throwing Mike Awesome at us. I don't know if that's just I don't know. I feel like that's a really powerful story. And then Rob texted me. I actually don't know that much about her, but Kimona. I think that seems super compelling. I don't know very much about her at all. Rob, maybe you can tell me a little bit about her.
That actually was a joke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it sounds awesome.
On ECW.
Yeah.
She was so sexy. Like so many girls pretend.
I just said that because she was hot.
Yeah. And Joe liked Asian women, but she for anybody.
True. This is now you know why I want to make this film.
Right.
Hey, let's say.
She like so many girls try to be sexy, but she really was so sexy. Her dance moves, her body, she had it going on.
Hell yeah!
Organically, without.
I made a clip.
Too hard.
I made a clip of that. I made a clip of that story that Robin told a story about Kimono Wanalea with oh my gosh, Dreads last week. Dreads. And so I was like trying to do. I was making a YouTube thumbnail and I was like Kimono Wanalea, and I like type it into Google and I was like, holy smoke, she's attractive. And I'm like, so I took some extra time making that edit. So it's pretty
Rob, I'm just curious, just for kicks on air, what story hook would you, as a friend of Mike Awesome, what would you find the most interesting, just off the top of your head, an angle for it? Would it be a retrospective, or like, how would you tell that story? I'm just curious.
I think the fact that when I think about what you just said, I think about his career and his ascension as a superstar and how he only went up so high. But I feel like just showing him in the ring and showing the way that dude did it when he was in beast mode, I think that alone, I think would give the watcher the feeling that he was entitled to be a really big star. So if he wasn't, if I never heard of him, what the fuck happened? Wait, Andy's Hulk Hogan's cousin? What? And what else about him? Like, wait, let me see. Man, this guy looks fucking amazing. What happened to him? How come I don't know? How come he's not, in WWE at the top right now? He fucking hung himself. You want to hear his story?
Yeah.
And I as dark as this is, and Rob will say that I make artistic choices, but I think he also say that I tend to go darker in some routes, and like, you know, I would say that, like, yeah, that's kind of an enticing draw of what makes it really interesting too. You know, I don't know much about the story. I read a little bit about it. And is the Hogan cousin thing, is that a shoot?
Yeah, it's through Horace Boulder. So Horace Boulder is, I guess, Hawk's nephew, and Horace Boulder and Mike Alfonso are cousins. And so, yeah, I mean, it's one, you know, like as far as like, you know, catching somebody's attention, it is a true fact. But that with seeing him in action, I think alone is enough to say like, wow, this dude's, you know, awesome. Like why is he not on top of the world right now? And then
why just from your perspective, why do you think he did not break that glass ceiling? Like, what, I'm just trying to wrap my head around what we would like dive into. Like, what held him back, would you say?
Well, I think the fact that he ended his life pretty much, kind of shut down any opportunities that he could have had after that point. You know.
So you think if that he would have broken through, you're saying eventually?
Yeah, and when I think about, you know, back when that happened, where I was in my career, I was still on my way up. You know what I mean? Like we can look back at ECW, like we were in our prime, but we weren't. We were still on our way up. We were still making a name for ourselves, still, you know, putting everything together. And then, Mike was a part of that with WWE the first couple of years. What was it, 2006? Probably 2007 was probably when he died, probably around then.
I think you're right.
Yeah, around then. And yeah, when I just think about where I was being on top, sure. I mean, that's where we were with that. That was our time to maybe even a little bit more down the road, to get even more respect, especially when you look at, like, when I was there, some of the guys that were so far underneath, like Dolph and like Kofi. There was a bunch of guys like that were just like, they were just down at the bottom of the card, and then eventually, just from being there long enough, boom, those guys are main eventers, getting the main event spots and stuff. Mike,
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
same.
Drew. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And
Joe,
so I'm saying absolutely Mike would have been way ahead of them because he already had all the superstar quality and everything. And so, yeah, I think, but I mean, there was more to it than that because they did make a joke of him in WCW. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Because they made up like the fat lady's man, or that 70s guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
He got paid big time to go there, but like they didn't use him right at all in WCW. It was just, he could have been a world beater.
I don't know if that was a rib or what. I don't know.
I don't know either, but yeah.
But we were still early enough in our career though, where I definitely think he would have got his flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And man, that match he had at One Night Stand with Masato.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Instead, he's pushing up daisies.
Who was he? Who did he wrestle at One Night Stand?
Masato Tanaka.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a wild match. Wild match.
That would be fun to talk to Tanaka about him.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, Rob, you also made mention too how much he loved his kids.
Oh, yeah.
Big aspect to him.
That was one of the biggest things about him because he and I rode together a lot, just he and I in the cars down many miles of highway and had a lot of time to talk. And that was consistent with him, as he missed his kids. He loved his kids. And he used to smell them down like an animal. He said he loved just like holding them and sniffing them and smelling their clothes. And I thought that was interesting. So obviously, and he would say to me that, he didn't miss his wife, but he missed the kids. And so they're going through a divorce. Boom, boom, boom. Mike kills himself. Obviously, she said she's gonna keep the kids and make it so he can't see them. There's obviously it had to have been what broke him.
Such a shame.
So sad. You've lost so many friends.
Yeah. That one, like, there's definitely, that's the one thing that would have made him not want to live anymore, would be if she said, you ain't seeing these kids no more. So
yeah, that's not.
There's only so much a man can take.
Yeah, that's true.
James Weston,
especially when you're depressed. Which, by the way, that just reminds me. September is Concussion Awareness Month. I haven't been talking about it enough. I forgot that Chris Nowinski mentioned it a long time ago, and I think I was supposed to get a follow-up that I didn't get. But either way, even though we're running out of September, time does not run out for the help to be there for you. And you can, if you're there to give, you can donate anything from cash to your brain. I know I did. You can, if you're there to receive knowledge, information, talk, there's professionals, there's people that are dealing with experiences like you. Lots of answers all in one hub at concussionlegacyfoundation.org or concussionlegacy.org will get you there as well too if you don't want to put the foundation in. But keep the conversation going, because there's the whole concussion, especially with the CTE factor, is like one of the most misunderstood things out there in the sports world, with wrestlers, with fans, with athletes, non-athletes. It's a very misunderstood thing. It can be scary if you're in a position where you're thinking that you're not feeling right and you're assuming the worst. So don't do that. Just get a hold of them, concussionlegacy.org, and just go from there, man. That's where you want to go. Tell them RVD sent you.
Rob, I just shared the link too at give.concussionfoundation.org. So I shared the link that you had on X on there. So guys, you can check that out in the chat there.
You were sent by Mr. Monday Night Rob.
Sent by RVD.
Line.
What's your next one?
Damn.
Robbie V. Polish Prince. Joe, somebody asked, what's your favorite documentary you made? Juan asks, your favorite documentary you made so far?
I mean, it's got to be the Sabu one. This is, it's I love Headstrong. I even love Homies. That's a really cool movie too. This one is just taking on a life of its own, and doing other stories, especially in the wrestling space, is enticing. I also feel like this is a hard one to follow. It's like so many things happen on this one that it's but I probably this one. It's just very personal. I was going through a lot of things in my own life, and just for how everything came about, this will be a tough project to follow up.
Right. Yeah. I believe it, man.
Oh, Joe, where is Alta Vista accessible?
Tubi. We're back on Tubi.
Is it? Okay. If you guys want a recommendation, Alta Vista is a movie that Joe made that's on Tubi. And I'm seriously like blown away at the amount of talent that you exude in this, because he wrote it, he's directing it, he stars in it, and it comes across, and his acting comes across like an A-lister. Like it doesn't come across like a cheap movie where someone that shouldn't be acting is doing the acting. Like it's obvious that he knows the part that he's playing because he created it and he's able to make it so believable. And I just can't put it over enough. So I definitely recommend that Alta Vista if you guys want to check out one of his projects that I'm most proud of.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. I remember when you were watching the Dahmer Netflix series, and you kept texting me that I reminded you of the main.
Yeah.
I have the same glasses too. That's why. So we kind of look alike.
And your hair used to look like him more.
That's right. Yeah.
My question is,
Joe,
how did you meet Rob, and then how did it turn into y'all making documentaries together?
Oh, that's a great question. So we met through Mr. Tom Garland, who is a professional stand-up comedian in Iowa. And I remember we were in the basement of this like really dingy nightclub, and Tom told me that he was texting Rob, and he knew I was a wrestling fan. I was like, "You're texting Rob Van Dam? Like, that's awesome." He said, yeah, he's like thinking we're like talking about doing some like stand-up dates, and I give Tom all the credit in the world. He really put the impetus of Headstrong together by putting the tour together, connecting us. And so that was all Tom Garland. And then I just saw him for the first time in like probably 5 years about a week ago. So that was really cool to reconnect with him. And so yeah, Tom was very instrumental in putting all this together.
Cool.
We just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He was
great. That's right. I watched that episode. It was so weird. I watched him there. Then we were on an interview. Like, we always just kind of randomly converge paths. That's how it works, I guess.
Yeah,
he's a funny dude. I've been watching his stand-up.
And I even think about Katie. It's kind of crazy. I met Rob in, I think,
2016.
October 2016. When did you guys meet?
We met. No, not the same. April 2016.
April. See, even then, I'm like, I think that's so interesting, the timing. How like, you guys. I feel like I met Rob at the very onset of that chapter of his life. That he was going through a bunch of things before that, and so it's just so trippy and surreal to see how everything plays out. But like how we all just cross paths at this intersection of a time.
Yeah, that was a big changing year for you in a lot of ways, ups and downs.
When did Joe say we met?
November 2016.
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's when I had the
the big concussion.
That's when I had the match, got the concussion, and then I met you just a few days.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this, Rob, but so we had a couple of calls to set up the documentary, and I didn't know if I was going to go until the last minute, and then you gave it the green light, and then we went and picked you up from the airport, and you got in the car, and the first thing you said is, "Yeah, I just got a concussion. I was going to cancel the whole documentary thing." And we were like, and I was like, I don't know, what do we do now?
Right.
That was literally day one. It was crazy.
And I had double vision.
Yeah.
The whole time.
How long did that last, Rob? It lasted for a while, didn't it?
I think the better part of 2 years. I think it was 2018 time when I finally.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I just finally went away.
Oh man, yeah, that would be scary too. Like especially like, and you even think that's 7 years ago. So like the knowledge and the education people have gotten on concussions since then, but like at that point, it's even more scarier to think back then.
And did you think, is this going to last forever?
Well, I wondered, and nobody could really tell me because it's like I'm part of the study, living it right now. Mm-hmm. And that is how it is with concussions, because the whole thing is still relatively new, as far as like we don't have hundreds of years and thousands of brains, that we've studied. Instead, we're kind of learning as we're going along. But they gave me hope. That's what it was. I can't remember the doctor's name right now, the neurologist, but
not Nowinski, right?
Right. No, but he recommended me to this guy so I could find the guy. He helped me get help, and told me where to go. And anyway, the doctor, I'd say, is this going to go away? And he said, yeah, I think so. And I was like, but I mean, when? I mean, it's been like 6 months. And is it, is it going to be years or is it going to be? He goes, I don't think so. And he was just, but they were, they were honest. They're like, we really don't know. I don't think it'll be that long. I think he'll be all right, and just keep with the therapy, keep doing the vision therapy, and I did, and they were right. Eventually, I went back to getting my eyes tested and being able to see as shitty as I normally can see with my. But the whole time, they gave me hope. I believed them, but sometimes I was like, what if it doesn't go away? Like they don't seem to be so sure, but they kept me believing that it probably would. And I would notice little gains with, cause they had me on so many different vision therapy exercises that I could tell when I was improving at them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Katie, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I'm going to one of the showers I'm going to the nerd one. That's I think next week. You guys have mentioned getting lots of baby gifts from everyone. Is there anything that you guys haven't got yet that you're still looking to get?
Oh, you don't have to bring us anything. Your presence is our present. Yeah. But yeah, just you being there is awesome. But we have a registry. If you want like that, we've just been putting together. Or if you just see something that's babyish and reminds you of us.
We got so many.
Yeah.
So many.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
I know I want to go to the October 4th. I just don't think I can make it for financially, but I'll definitely want to get you guys something for sure.
We're gonna do one here in Vegas at the Nerd Bar, and then we're gonna do another one in Florida.
Oh, cool!
So if you're one of my friends in those areas, hit me up, and I'll give you all the details.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this other one in Florida because our family lives there. So
nice. Okay. Sweet. When is that one taking place?
That one's gonna be at the end of October.
End of October. Okay.
And then we have a few bookings in November. And then the end of November, I'm going to be cut off from traveling. I'll be too big to travel. It's already starting to get uncomfortable. Like I'm getting huge. The babies are. Yeah. I show them every hour. I'm like, look, they grew.
Look how big I am.
Yeah. I was like, it looks like I swallowed a beach ball.
But you also have two.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you got two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two of them.
I saw the sonograms where the Sabu's smoking, you said, and the other one's kicking.
Yeah, that's Karma. Karma was smoking, yeah.
Oh.
Karma was smoking, okay.
And Saba had her foot up by her head, so I was like, she definitely has Rob's flexibility. But we can tell we can already tell their personalities in the sonogram. Like Saba's like really shy and like really a nonconformist. Like she only does things if she wants to do it, not because they're like trying to not like they try to like wiggle her around to get better pictures of her, but she just she's more stubborn. So I was like, we're naming that one after Sabu.
There you go, right?
Perfect. Incredible.
For the record, so far, I got Gail Kim's back.
Hey, me too, Rob. Me too. I definitely got Gil Kim's back.
I love that you're getting that over as a catchprise now.
Right?
No, I got it back so far.
You have to say so far because we don't have all the information yet.
Yeah. We don't have all the info yet. Rob, did you want to elaborate on the Gil Kim stuff? Because I thought it was a fascinating.
You believe all the hate she's getting?
Unbelievable.
Because she said she doesn't like death matches, and so everybody is hating on her. I don't know exactly what she said. I think she was a little more insulting and said this is complete trash or something like that. It was a little more descriptive. But I saw one of the comments I saw, I think it was Jordan Grace, that said, I don't agree with Gail Kim, but if she has one opinion that's different, it doesn't negate her entire career. And that's really like what the last several weeks have been about, is trying to re-educate people that it's okay if someone has a different opinion than you, it doesn't mean that their life isn't worth anything.
Right. Rob, I was looking at some of the comments people were making underneath what she tweeted about a couple of times and saying awful, awful stuff just based off of a wrestling take, too. It's just like, relax, everybody.
They would like
have it.
The cyberbullies, ultimately, they would like it if their targets would kill themselves. That's what they want ultimately.
That's crazy. I actually met her, Katie, at one of your WoW events, and she was so cool. She's so nice.
She is so nice. Which WoW event?
It was in LA. It was downtown LA. I think they're all there, but I can't remember. But we were all hanging out in that side room. It was like a big party. She was super cool. She like got me a shot and stuff. I know she's married, but obviously we know why I love her too. So.
Kobe Bryant was at one of the WoW shows.
No way.
Really?
I remember seeing.
Well, Jeannie Buss runs.
Even too, he came into one of the shows.
I remember I saw Sylvester Stallone's mom there, which was
wow.
really random. Yeah, it was so random.
Man, stop her, my mom.
Those are fun. Those are fun shows. I love those.
Yeah.
Man.
So, but when
Kobe was there,
I saw Gail.
Yeah, right.
Gail and the dude, the promoter, whatever, went back and forth, right?
Oh, Brett Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up. I never am on Twitter.
Is it Rob? Do you think it's more reflective of Twitter or wrestling fandom that draws these very extreme reactions, or is it just social media in today's world in general?
Good question.
I think that it's just a small percentage of creatures that live under a bridge, and their meaning, their purpose in life is to exude hate, and they love to do it through social media. So
with the Raja stuff from a few weeks back, I remember watching some of your guys' episodes and seeing the discourse on Twitter and like some of the crazy comments, and it seemed to be like this massive thing. But then I remember asking you about it, and it seemed to have like actual 0% applicability in the real world.
Yeah, they're not real people. They would never say anything in real life to somebody's face. And it has nothing to do with them at all. Not even a little bit. They don't even have the right to have these feelings, that they're like personally injected into. But the thing is, if over something so small as an opinion, if someone's going to say, dude, I lost all my respect for you. Well, it's pretty obvious you didn't have that much respect to begin with. You know what I mean? So
did you ever get worried about those kind of situations, like hurting your brand or something like that, where it would like potentially impact your life in like in a real way, or not really?
Not unless these trolls get so filled up with hate that they bring a gun out like they did with Charlie Kirk, and if they say, I can't stand RVD having a different opinion than I do. He doesn't feel the way that I want him to, and damn it, that makes me mad. He's got to die. I mean, anything short of that, of course not. I got to reuse this just because you weren't here, Joe, but I liken the cyber bullies as like the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae that surround their target, so their target feels like they're completely surrounded and outnumbered and can't get off their path. But in reality, they actually have way more people than they realize on their side. You know what I mean? It's like that's how they are. They're not real. It's not like other wrestlers who actually know me that are friends are saying, yeah, Rob, we lost our respect for you.
Yeah, right.
If we talk about it, they're like, I saw that. Those fans are ridiculous, aren't they? It's not like anybody respects what those haters have to say. They're so filled up with hate. It's the same people that decided to throw up all their hate on me for saying I had Roger's back. They're the same people that said free Luigi. We're glad that he murdered somebody because we hate the guy that he murdered. Same people that are celebrating Charlie Kirk dying because murder is fine in their mind as long as it's somebody that they all agree is hate-worthy. And so they're horrible, horrible people. I would never give in or cater towards them. All I'll do is point them out so that hopefully other people can realize in case they're dealing with some of the same shit on a different scale, on the same scale, whatever. Like everybody sometimes has to deal with the cyber bullies, and it's like I said a minute ago, like what they would like ultimately would be for their targets to kill themselves. Ultimately, that's what they want. That's how wonderful these people are. It's the same people that will go write someone they never met before to say, you're a piece of shit. I used to like you, but now I fuck you. Like the same people that are going to have that much hate for no reason, has nothing to do with them, just for someone having a different opinion. Those people, they want death. They don't want someone living with thoughts that challenge their own thoughts.
That's very scary,
isn't it?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's what the algorithm's been about for the last month or so. Everywhere I'm hearing everybody else of a certain stature that has a platform saying the exact same thing that I'm saying.
So yeah, that's what's interesting is I would see all those comments and I just assumed that not that it was the majority, but that it was way more than what there actually are. And if that's all you're seeing, you're like, oh wow, like this is like a huge thing. But then when you actually dissect and look closer, it seems to be a very, very, very small percentage of people.
Yeah, it's just what do you call it? The internet wrestling community. IWC.
Yeah, the IWC. Yeah, IWC.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, I hope they rent the movie and promote it.
No, yeah, they're not. They're a very small group of people. They go on everyone's. Oh my God, he's killing his career right in front of us. This is so sad. They're gonna, fuck off. You guys, you're not even allowed to be my fans anymore. Fuck off. Turn in your RVD fan membership if this is one of you. If you're one of these evil, toxic. I don't know if there's evil or not. If there's evil, there's got to be a devil, right? And there's got to be a God. These people, either way, are so ridiculous and toxic, but they only exist right there.
Have you been noticing that you're gaining new fans by kind of poking the bear a little bit?
Well, I don't know if I'm gaining new fans or not, but I have fans or friends tell me that they respect me for what I'm saying and how toxic the cyberbully culture is now, and how people can't handle having an opinion, how they respect me for. I get that. I get letters of encouragement with shit like that goes a long way because whenever anyone asks about my legacy or whatever, I say I always want to stand for not being afraid to be different, be yourself, don't feel the pressure of trying to fit in with everyone. They're all assholes.
Well, that takes more courage than ever in today's world to be able to do that. Like I respected you too, because like if I was in that situation and I felt that kind of heat, I feel like I would like crawl into a hole, like delete a bunch of things, get rid of social media, and you like hit it head on. And I was like, oh shit, he's not backing down. Like he's just owning it right now. Like that takes a lot of bravery in today's toxic landscape on social media.
Nah, fuck.
It's admirable. It's definitely admirable because I've learned from it too. Like like Rob just being like, well, I'm just gonna like, because throughout the weeks it's just like this Raja Jackson stuff like really blew up, and people were crapping on Rob this whole time, and Rob's like, whatever, it's no big deal, and like that kind of thing. And sure enough, it is no big deal. Like the dust settles down, people like it's all the moment. People are just stuck in the moment of like, oh, let's dump on this person. Like you look at Gil Kim from a month or a couple months ago, she got released from TNA, and everybody was like, oh, she's such a smart mind for the business. She's pro advocate for women's wrestling. And everybody praised her online, social media wise. Everybody. And then all of a sudden, she says one thing, she gives her educated opinion on something, and people start trashing her. And it's just like, yeah, she'll weather the storm and she'll get through it too. It's just so, but it teaches you. It teaches you like, yes, this is just the mindset of the moment, and it's the small minority that's vocal online, and it's just
The
like
300
the whole world.
Spartans. You get that, right? The 300
Yeah,
Spartans.
I get it. Yeah, 100%.
What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say.
Weathering the storm. Weathering the storm, getting through all this, like when people were just being idiots.
I mean, this kind of goes back to what I said to Sabu of like asking about his honesty and getting, in trouble and whatnot. Like, I actually want to be more like you guys in that respect. I wish I had the courage to kind of be more upfront with who I was and more authentic. And so it's like to see you guys do that and not have like fear of what's on the other side is like super admirable.
Yeah. That's something I admired about Rob.
Ain't shit on the other side. Those cyber bullies, the only power that they have is just like on X or whatever. So just don't go on X, and guess what? The whole life doesn't have that toxic energy. It's vacant of it now. Go there, and it's there. Just don't go there. So
it's also just weird to think like I don't know what it would take for me to, in order to send a message like that to someone. I think they would have to like wipe out my entire family or something like that. Like to go to that length, I'm like, you would have to do some really crazy things to me personally, like legit ruin my life.
It's a reflection of what their maybe state of their life is, and
but that's really sad. If anything,
it's sad. It's sad, like that people resort to that because they want to project their hate and their sadness onto somebody else.
Like you said too, like unfortunately, I think I actually heard you guys talk about this on a previous podcast, but for Rob, who's very self-aware and has that grounding, maybe that 13-year-old kid in junior high doesn't have that same wherewithal that they can't handle it, and that's when it gets out of control then.
That's when it gets
That's
bad.
true. A lot of these people probably haven't even hit puberty yet.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Oh, that's nuts. I haven't thought about that. Yeah, they're probably like 12. Oh my god,
right? Working with a grown-ass man.
Crazy to think about. I'm just assuming they're like my age in a basement somewhere.
That's what I always think too. It's like, how do you not know this?
No, the internet mark community is just as faithful as their attention span. So that's one thing to remember.
True. That's what I said. It was like people were like, condolences, Rob, because of Sabu. And then the pregnancy, they're like, congratulations, Rob. And then they're like, I hate you, Rob.
Yeah.
So how do you guys, Rob and Katie, like you guys have large, fan bases. How do you, because you still are, I'm sure, like very gracious to the ones that are genuinely giving you good energy.
That's all we got time for. Thanks, everybody.
Like, how do you balance that of like, oh, this is a good thing versus like, this isn't real, this is fake?
I don't respond to any negativity at all because then there's so many people that say, good morning, Katie. You know how I feel about you. I love you. You're so
cool.
good.
That's awesome.
I get so many people like that are just so nice and give me
that's great.
So then I'm like, I want to be fair for them to respond to the people that say, you're plastic and ugly.
True.
So I'm like, it wouldn't be fair to those people that are sweet to me to give the attention to the negative people. So I don't even I don't ever respond to negativity.
That's awesome. That's good. That's great to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Word.
Yeah, Rob makes fun of it. It's funny. Like he's
Rob was fun. Rob will go back and forth.
yeah.
Sometimes-
Rob will
you
respond, like,
engage hard. It's insane.
yeah.
I think other people, reading could learn from it too, but she taught me to just go ahead and put a heart or like it if I'm not going to comment on it, then
Yeah, that's what I do because I noticed that before. Like when I was younger, I feel like people picked on me more, maybe like in my younger 20s, because like I don't know, I didn't give off as much of a boss vibe as now. Like I seem more like fuckable, fuck withable. But anyway, people, I know your boobs are fake. I'm like, thanks. I mean that as a compliment, but I would just play dumb to like, say thanks to anything.
That's hilarious.
Stupid, like, damn, she's not taking my negativity and getting her feelings hurt. So yeah,
And
that's why
sometimes
I like every comment, even if it's negative, I just like it.
And sometimes the bullies will be like, they'll like, "What's out?" And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like thanks for interacting," or they'll like turn it positive, and, like the whole
Because they
time.
don't do
They'll try to
celebrities like
spin.
real people.
they're not even committed to
Yeah.
being good bullies.
No, they are.
Yeah.
They wuss out on that.
I think
Yeah.
didn't you show Rob like a Facebook message you like an exchange with had a guy where you like responded and then he
Yeah.
had like a really civil response back.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I hope you didn't take any
I
personal."
hope you didn't take killing yourself personally.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jeez.
And another guy I responded to, and then he's like, "Oh, I hope you liked my promo." And it's
Promo.
That is fun. Like this is a microcosm of it, but like anytime you hear someone gossiping behind your back, even if it's something small, if you see them in person and like just look at them, they're just gonna melt. You know what I mean? They're not gonna do anything.
Apologize. And they're like, who are you?
I didn't mean it.
You.
I didn't be. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a lot of those cases like that, I think they don't like. I'm not a real person to them.
Oh right, yeah.
But also that works both ways. Just like I'm saying, they're not a real person to me because I know nothing about them, nothing about what they do is going to affect me. All I know is this one little thing, and that's whatever message that they wrote. That's the only thing I know about them. So they're not a real person. They're either just hate if it's a hateful message or whatever. But then also to them, I'm just weed. Sometimes, what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Just to me, and they just think weed. He smokes weed, or whatever it is that I stand for them. I'm not real to them. So yeah,
Humans
make it easier to write to somebody. Like I said, my hateful friend that likes to write to the president, say, "Why don't you kill yourself?"
Oh my god.
Hateful friend. But anyway, I'm sure he doesn't think he's going to get a response. I don't know what he gets out of that actually, but I'm pretty sure that he doesn't think he's actually writing to a real accessible person.
This is the next documentary. I'm just gonna pick a random hate comment, find that person, and do like a deep dive into their life for you, so you can see who they are. And they're like, "This is a very depressing movie we're watching right now."
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to get dark, Joe. That's right.
Yeah.
Triple E actually asked if Joe were to make a movie with RVD and Katie and Dom, what would it be? There it is, right there.
Didn't we already talk about the porn?
Yeah, we got it down.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We need to
already.
brainstorm. We need to brainstorm on that one, though.
You're the pizza guy.
Oh man! All right.
True, they can't.
It takes
You
place.
can't smell it though.
No, you can't.
You can always.
It takes
smell
place
it.
in a cheesecake factory. It takes
Yeah,
place
there
at
it
the
is.
There we got it.
Good full circle. Mom.
Maddie says, "What does every Tickle Me Elmo get before it leaves the factory? 2 test tickles." Oh my god!
That is very funny.
Good stuff.
I get that one.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
thanks for the kind words too, Maddie. He's not last, so
That was
thank you.
funny.
Yeah, you are great, Dom.
Oh, thanks. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So I love doing it. Yeah, I got trashed by Jim Cornette and Brian last.
He was filling me in on that.
It's pretty funny stuff.
That's a high mark in your career though. If you're not
Yeah,
getting smashed by
like
Jim Cornette, you haven't
I'm
made
not.
it.
I must not be doing things right if that's the case, you know. So yeah, I'm okay with it. Venus Beach, Seth. Thank you for the $19, $20. RVD, your algorithm must be crazy. You watch people get run over all day. My algorithm is all funny animals. I'm too sensitive to social media. Haters trip me out like they don't know it's a loser lifestyle. Right?
Right.
That's it.
Rob's
Yeah.
algorithm must be crazy. Like his story is like an episode of Ridiculousness.
Yeah. I mostly just look at Instagram once a day though. And that's like late at night when I'm laying in bed. I have the sound off, so I can't hear it when people are talking or whatever. So if you send me, or I can't hear his music, even though I see him going, the white boy dance with his friend, and I assume they're singing, but
I show him your music though.
There you go, Seth.
I pretty much do all of it at one time, or the whole day is pretty much, unless I'm flying or whatever. Then sometimes I have other dead spots during the day where I'll be checking my Instagram, but otherwise it's something I usually just check once a day. And if it's something that, unless it looks super familiar and I've seen the reel to death, then I won't. But if it's something that makes me laugh or whatever, I think maybe this will make other people laugh.
He's more of a Twitter guy, and he loves YouTube, cop videos on YouTube. That's his thing.
Rob is telling me about the comments.
I've hardly been looking at YouTube since the whole Roger thing. It's been like at first there was so much hate on there. I was just like, oh, I think I'll just block it out.
Oh, you
like,
mean on X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like one a week, and then I looked, and then it was better if I saw one or two. But I still now I don't feel obligated to check it that much. Just like my Facebook just disappeared, and then I haven't even lifted a finger yet, really, to try to get it back because I'm like, it's kind of nice not having it.
Yeah, right.
But that's value as far as reaching people when you want to be able to reach, which sometimes people, want me to help promote something or whatever. So there is that. It's not like it has no value, but for what you lose with losing it, it almost seemed worth it, at least for a couple months now. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I haven't had a Facebook for like a couple months. So if you're
Rob, do you remember when I was living in Beverly Hills, I used to go over to the Four Seasons all the time, and your Facebook got locked out a few years ago. I think like WWE or something. There's some sort of Facebook issue, and you were locked out. And I met this girl randomly at the Four Seasons that she worked at Facebook, like on campus in the Bay Area. And I had her like contact people at Facebook to unlock your Facebook profile for you.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
You don't remember that?
I remember.
I'm gonna have to call her again.
Yeah.
Clever contact.
I do, but it was a date, and now it's like awkward because she's married with a kid, so I probably can't do it.
Is she Asian?
I'm so glad my love of Asian women has been established.
That's going to be the episode. That's going to be.
It's all right. Everyone in my life already knows. It's fine.
Yep.
Too. I got locked out of mine a long time ago, and then I just made another one. But my big page I got locked out of.
Dang.
Yeah, that sucks.
And Facebook is really hard to talk to anybody.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's impossible to get through. That's why I was like, oh my God, I've met someone that worked there. We're going to get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the idea of eventually losing all of them, though.
For sure. Yeah.
Easier.
Yeah.
But you're a public figure.
I know, but it's a pair of hands.
Seth said you racially profiled him.
I got
it. Says Joe loves Asian
so funny.
Yeah, you racially profiled Seth, by the way. By his white boy dance. I'm glad we were able to do that. Hey, speaking of social media, Joe, where can people follow you at?
You find me at Joe Clarke World, Back Row Studios. Yeah, just kind of you can Google the Sabu documentary. You can find us through there. So backrowstudios.com. But yeah, hopefully we'll have more projects coming out soon. We'll be pushing this one quite a bit more. So yeah, I feel like we're just scratching the surface for people discovering this movie, and I'm super excited for the masses to watch it.
Them asses. Them you excited for them asses?
Them asses.
For them asses.
Cool. Kinema.com, y'all.
Kinema.com.
Kinema.com. Check it on out. Spread the word too. Share the links and get the word out about it. Help Joe out and get the word out about the Sabu documentary because it's great stuff. And
when they're talking with DDP and Paige, his beautiful wife, the other day, they were asking about my schedule, what I got coming up, and I told him it was like, I guess Rhode Island, I think, is the next thing. But turns out I forgot a whole bunch of shit. So I just want to say October 26th, I'm in Texas, but
San Antonio.
Ooh.
Is it in San Antonio? It's near
there.
I meant to look at the poster for. Oh no, I got it right here. Hold on, it's a Battleground Collectibles, Belton, Texas.
Belton.
You can show that.
Oh, Belton, Texas.
Oh,
look at that! All right, meet and greet Rob there. Belton,
and then
Texas.
but then that's October 26th, and then November 7th and 8th or whatever is Rhode Island Comic Con, and then the 15th of November we're in a big event in New York, and then the 29th of November we're at WrestleCade, North Carolina. And
I'm gonna go there.
You're gonna go?
That's where I'm gonna try to make it. Yeah,
cool.
WrestleCade. So
I'll get
your baby gift. Yeah, I'll get your baby gift.
The last trip before the babies get here.
Joe,
yeah.
Joe, you're invited.
All right.
Last time I was at WrestleCade, I crashed with Crowbar and I literally slept on the floor. I got so hammered with him that I woke up in the shower stall and I was like, "Did they rib me and put me in the shower stall?" I just got trashed. That's all that.
He knows that too, but this is my most behaved year of my whole adult life. Over.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you back to the other side once Karma and Sal are out.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll bring you party down.
I'm a mother now.
I can't. I'm a mother. I have to leave a good example.
Yeah.
What you need to do, Joe, is get an Eddie Mansfield documentary going.
Oh shit. There we go.
Rob has the best Eddie Mansfield voice of all time.
I'll tell you what you need to do.
He's a good impressionist.
Yeah,
he is. His Paul
there was like
amazing.
a 3-month period where Eddie would call me every week pitching an idea, and it would be like, "Hey Joe, I got a big idea. You're going to be directing this big documentary for the CMT channel."
CMT channel.
Now, is that too big for you or no? You want to go all out, right?
My favorite Rob impression is Young Rob when he does Young Rob.
Oh yeah, me too. I love Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm gonna hit Terminator.
My favorite podcast clip is when you guys were watching the No Mercy 2001 main event, and it was a promo for it, and you say, "Far be it from me to deny a challenge."
I gotta dig that one up.
It's so funny.
There could be episode clips of just Rob impressions.
Rob impressions. That's it.
Yeah,
first so many good ones.
First young promo I remember doing in USWA is, "I wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire."
Can you do Young Rob or Eddie Mansfield talking to Young Rob? Can you hold a conversation between the two?
I'm gonna make you my TV champion. But Tim Parker says you told him. Tim Parker, he's not talking to Continental Lover Eddie Mansfield now, is he?
Can you do a Matt Riddle impression?
Oh, I never heard your Matt Riddle impression.
I'm like a 3-hour podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but it's been fun. Normally I'm ready for
That's
it.
good.
Yeah.
Great.
I know this has been good stuff,
Thanks for
guys.
having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, man. And
Absolutely.
thank you everybody in the
Thanks for
live
having
chat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Support Joe. Check out Kinema.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll see you guys back at the Nerd next week. We're only going to hang out at the Nerd for major events.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
In Vegas, we go to the Nerd.
heck yeah.
Yeah. Can't
Awesome.
beat it. Can't
Thanks,
beat
guys.
It. Shout out to
Appreciate it.
Johnny. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Dom.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.